Get your cousin.
Where the money at, huh?
Huh? Where's the money?
Yeah.
Where's the money?
Hey, don't take my pizza, bro.
You want a pizza back?
What?
You want to give me the pizza
I'm
back?
saying though, like,
It's required to tip.
we don't got
No,
tip.
it's
But if you act like that, I'm not gonna want to tip you.
really. I came from.
I didn't tell you to come upstairs.
That's
I told you I would.
bro.
You're disrespectful, and I got you on video.
Oh, yeah.
You're disrespectful. I won't ever tip again. I will never tip Rosati's again.
Matter of fact, give my money back. Come on, here. Give my shit.
We would like a refund.
Refund. Give my stuff, man. You steal it. Give my stuff, man. Come on. Give my stuff, bro. Give my stuff, bro. Where my 50 at?
Yeah, I have your.
Where my 50 at?
Give me
Where
my.
my 50 at, man?
Give me my $10.
Huh?
$10.
No.
What?
No.
No, forget it.
No.
You're disrespectful.
Disrespectful. Now I treat you like a goofy. Now I just treat you like a goofy. How you feel about that? I just treat you like a goofy.
And I'm finna tell that lady never to let you back up again.
Okay. So we have another tipping situation. It seems. Let's get. Okay, it says this man assumed we weren't going to tip because we asked for all of our change back first, and he started to say racial slurs like "your kind never tips," and tells us it's required we give him an 18% tip until he saw me recording. Your kind never tip. That's not a racial slur. You know, maybe he says something else for her to type that, but you know. Food service is a crazy thing. When it comes to tipping, I don't necessarily think it's like a black person thing or a white person thing or any type of direct race that just doesn't tip versus a race that does. Tipping is an American culture. I know in some of you guys' countries it's not like a big thing, or even it can be seen as disrespectful to tip in some places, right? But in America, it's a part of the culture, and it's usually because that's how guys like him who work in food service or food delivery, that's usually how they make most of their money, is through tips, right? So when it comes to if you're gonna get a good tip or no tip from somebody, it usually is a class type of situation, right? And I know this firsthand from my wife. She used to be a server, bartending, and food service, right? She used to bust tables down, right? When you're doing that, you kind of already know, depending on the class level of the person, not necessarily the race, but the class. I don't know what type of hotel this is, you know, but if somebody that's in a motel, you probably know there's probably not going to be much of a good tip. Or if they're in a bad neighborhood, if they're in a more so like project type neighborhood, you probably already can tell that you're not going to get much of a tip versus someone that lives in a good neighborhood, big houses, gated communities, nice 5-star hotels. When you're delivering to those type of places, you already kind of know that you're going to get you're going to get a decent tip, right? You're going to get a decent tip doing that. It seems like they ordered from it almost looked like a Pizza Hut box, but I think she called it something else. I think it's like probably like a more so niche type of pizza restaurant. So he's probably like somebody, like he's probably not working for DoorDash, right, or Uber Eats, right? So and when you're working for those type of apps, you kind of already can tell what you're gonna get before you even accept the thing. But sometimes people they like tipping cash, right? So you might think, oh, I'm only gonna get $4 from this thing, but then you get there and they give you like another 5 or 10 or something like that. He seems like he just kind of works for that specific pizza restaurant. So, you know, and when you do work like that, you're only getting really tip money back. So, you know, he probably was a little mad and he probably assumed that they weren't tipping, which is bad on his end. You know, don't assume you're not getting a tip until you leave the place for anybody that's doing any type of food delivery. Like don't assume it, right? Because, you know, that's how situations like this happen. And if he did say your kind never tips, like that's fucked up too, right? That's fucked up too. I think we can agree on that. But you know, they shouldn't have been antagonize him after the fact. You know, like sometimes misunderstandings happen. You know, food service delivery can be frustrating sometimes. He should have handled it better. They both sides could have handled it better. And I think, like, okay, they ordered like 2 pizzas and they gave him a 50 and asked for the change back first. Like, you know, those 2 pizzas, it could have been more than like $20-$30 maybe. So, you know, they probably just wanted to, you know, they didn't want to give him the whole thing, right? And, you know, that's understandable as well. So if he really assumed that, he shouldn't have did that. Calling him back and then making him go again, that was unnecessary. Just kind of both sides unnecessary actions. But, you know, they seem like they're a little bit younger, and when you have like younger black people, they're not gonna hold back. So I understand that side as well. But yeah, man, like I've me personally, when it comes to tipping, I make sure I tip anybody who I know is like working for tips. You know, I make sure I don't know the exact percentages, but I give them what it seems like they deserve at the time. I know when I was a younger kid, I didn't tip at all. We would leave change under the plates and stuff like that. But, you know, which we shouldn't have done, right? We shouldn't have done. That's just being young and dumb. That's why as an adult now, I understand, like, you know, these people, they work hard. If they gave me a good service, if they weren't rude or mean, and, you know, they treated me well, then I'm gonna treat them well back, right? I just feel like that's how we got to do until they decide to, you know, until they decide to pay these people like in a different way, right? Because I think food, like servers, they get more so an hourly wage in other countries versus in America. It's just like they'll be getting like $2-3 an hour. Everything else is just based off the tips, which, you know, if you're going to be getting mad because you're not getting tipped, I would say go to another job, because it's going to happen. It's going to happen no matter where you work at. It's going to happen to you sometimes. But let me know what y'all think about this video down below. As always, love y'all. I'm out.